What happened was this. I was just kicking back, and the whole thing happened to where I envisioned like my old house where I was living.
Being incarcerated, man, for 13 years. That's the worst dream I ever had in my life. You'll never see things. You'll see things that you never dreamed of.
They had this cellar that's shown in, and the sunlight from it just came down, and the moonlight too, and it just like had this big arrow and entrance going right down the cellar.
The worst dream, man. I dreamt I was riding a motorcycle with my buddy. Now, you remember the film, Thelma and Louise. I jumped off. And I got hurt.
And then what happened was, every time I looked down there at night, all I could see was just darkness. So it came to me that I'd walk down this like stairway of all this darkness. And when I got to the bottom, I couldn't see anything.
And I was dreaming and I dreamt that all these seagulls were flying around and one sort of attacked me, so I broke its wing. Next thing I knew, hundreds of seagulls were attacking me.
Alright, well, check it out. I had this one nightmare, right? I was asleep though, you know, so it was like these like little ants crawling around in the bed, and I just woke up and I didn't know they was there, so I looked to the side and they started crawling up and I started jumping like you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, okay, I get up and start walking, you know. And then seeing some more of them crawling up the leg like, whoa.
My worst nightmare was when I was a kid, maybe 5 or 6. I was chased by a buck-toothed bunny rabbit through a field. It was a very pretty day, and I was chased into a barn, and that's all I remember.
My worst nightmare, I'm a witch on trial with no voice. I guess that's my worst nightmare.
So what happened was, I closed my eyes and just started feeling things on this sort of like lucid dream level. It's where I knew I was there, but it was still a dream. And there was this force that came on around me. I couldn't feel it, well, I could feel it, but I couldn't see it. And all I felt was this evil, like imposing and coming on me. And I could feel like this bulge in my arm, like, you know those tetanus shot circles, you know what I mean? Well, this one was like, this thing was like tennis ball sized, man. It's huge.
I was sleeping late at night with my boyfriend, and I dreamed that I woke up in the room where I actually was, and there was a clown standing at the end of the bed. And for some reason that was utterly terrifying, and I actually woke up screaming.
My worst nightmare was 2 planets colliding with me in the middle. So scary.
And it started bulging in my arm, right? And bulging, and just breathing on my arm. And next thing I know is I grabbed my hand, took it, ripped out all of this flesh out of the side of my arm, and I stood with there, and it was in my hand, and it was just all these hydras and worms and snakes just holding in my hand like Medusa's head. And then that's it, I woke up.
What, that I had a recurring dream that I was in Star Wars?
That dream in like G.I. Joe animation. I was running through a swamp from like G.I. Joes, but running into this like big consuming machine, and it never ends. I'd never make it to the machine, and they never catch me.
My worst nightmare, seriously, is that I have this actually reoccurring dream that my teeth fall out.
About once a year, I dream that all my teeth have fallen out.
I don't know, Dad, not me.
Alright. The worst dream that I had that I can remember right off the bat, because I'm out at a bar, a beer in the bar.
When you're just running and running and running, and you know if you stop, it's the whole same. It's combined with the if you fall and you fall, and if you hit the ground, you won't wake up. Haven't you ever heard that one?
I had a dream that my mom was killed, and I was kind of like the mother of the family, so I raised I took care of my little brother and everything. So I dreamt that when my mom was killed, that we never told anybody, and I raised the family, and so we wouldn't be torn apart. And the next week, it was only like a week later, my mom was hit by a car.
There's all kinds of like dysfunctional washers and dryers and all kinds of appliances laying around.
And I know there's this psycho killer running around somewhere, and he's trying to get to me.
So, for whatever reason, I'm going to be executed, and I'm pregnant. So I know they can't kill me as long as I'm pregnant without killing the baby. So I drink a bunch of Epsom salt, and I throw up, and that means I gave birth. And they told me to look in the basket for my baby. And it was my little snake Diablo when he was like 12 inches or whatever when I first got him.
So I crouched down behind this big old washing machine. All of a sudden he just jumps up right in front of me, and he's like got this big old knife. So I try to climb up this ladder to get away from him, and he stabs me in the gut with the knife. And I was like, ugh, but I didn't feel any pain. And I was like, looked down, and there's this huge knife sticking out of my gut. So I pulled it out and just started hacking him to pieces.
And when I pull him out of the basket to go, oh my baby, he all of a sudden becomes this huge snake. And he's biting my sweatshirt sleeves, and he's wrapping all around me, and I'm freaking out. And then I'm shopping at the mall.